All right, everybody, I am back with a brand new DC update. And before I get into the photos that I'm going to show you here today, I wanted to address something based on a lot of the comments that I've seen over the last couple of days. A couple of videos I put up over the last couple of days in regards to Superman's suit and everything got a lot of comments. Same with the Star Wars stuff that I'm putting out there, you know, the review on the Acolyte and everything. And I saw a couple of other YouTubers talk about this, and what's funny is I was going to be talking about this in my video today, regardless of what those YouTubers had done, based off of some of the comments that I saw. And one that struck me this morning specifically, and it had to do with saying I'm not a true fan, that I'm the worst kind of toxic, you know, person out here, and that basically they called me racist. And this proves my point about what I was talking about with Star Wars and kind of what's going on with Warner Brothers. And I want to make something very clear here today. I'm not a racist. I've never been a racist. I've never made a disparaging comment about anybody of color. I'm not a bigot, and I'm definitely not a misogynist. I have a wife. I have 4 daughters. I am very sensitive to females, and if you disrespect females, you're going to hear it from me. I'm the opposite of a misogynist. And so to be called those things is disgusting, and this proves my point that these studios have weaponized the general audience of going after people who are telling the truth about these studios. And people will call you a shill. They'll say you're grifting, and all I have to tell you guys is I'm going to always be 100% honest with you guys. I'm not paid for by some studio. I'm never going to be paid for by some studio. I'm not going to do things because I'm told to do them. I'm giving you guys my honest opinion on stuff, and I'm always going to be 100% honest with my opinion. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I am not one of those people who is going to say because it's Batman and Superman, you should instantly like it. I'm not going to say you should like Star Wars just because it carries the name. It has to be worthy of those names, and I want to make that very, very clear. And so far, I'm not seeing anything in Superman that makes me excited to see the film, that James Gunn is taking this seriously. He has said in the past he doesn't take superheroes seriously. He thinks they're the most ridiculous thing ever. And he's the guy that's in charge of Superman. I don't think there's any other sect of society where you could have these previous comments about an industry or a genre and then work in that industry or genre based on the comments that you made. Like, where does that ever happen? It doesn't happen. And he's got the job, unfortunately. And he's got big shoes to fill. Like, this has to be the best superhero film that has ever been released, and I don't think he's up to the task. Now, regarding the last video I did in regards to Clark Kent's hair, there's a little bit of hope. I have just a little glimmer of hope that maybe James Gunn does understand how important it is to make these characters look different. I still don't like the haircut. I don't like the look. The one thing I will tell you is it would disguise him from looking like Superman. Now, obviously, we haven't seen the film yet. We don't know exactly what it's going to be. But I could see, if he's taking it seriously, that maybe he is going to go to great lengths to make him look more different than any other version of Clark and Superman that's been on film before, to make him look truly different. And that would be a good thing. That's not necessarily a bad thing. I still don't like it. I'm still not digging. I'm getting vibes that he's not taking this seriously, because when you look at the Superman suit, I've seen more photos have been released over the last couple of days, and that suit, especially the legs, look ridiculous. It literally looks like he has a rubber with maybe some fabric on the top. It looks like somebody's pajamas. Like, it literally looks like pajamas. And there's no other iteration of Superman where you haven't seen the definition of the muscles. Not in any costume ever. And this looks truly like a costume and not an actual suit that Superman would be wearing. So there is also that possibility that James Gunn is going to lean totally into the silliness of superheroes, which I hope is not the case. Now, we're going to look at some of the photos that have been released. We've got our first look at Lex and some other characters. Like, this film is stacked with all kinds of characters. We do see Rick Flag Sr. in this movie as well as another character that people are kind of debating on who it is. But let's take a look at these photos. So first up, James Gunn posted this himself and said that he is excited to announce that they officially greenlit the Green Lanterns, it's called Lantern Show, and it's for DC Studios, and it's going to be an HBO original release, which tells me they may be changing Max yet again back to HBO or HBO Max. The decision to change the streaming network to Max was a horrible decision. Nobody thinks that was a good idea. To shed HBO from the name is ridiculous. And I am guessing that they may go and actually, change the name again, but we'll see. Hopefully, this show is good. I don't have high hopes with the writers on that. I've talked about that in a previous episode. All right, so here's one of the photos from Superman. And if you look at the legs and the knees, there's no definition of muscles anywhere. This does look like somebody's pajamas. It literally does. There's nobody that can convince me that suit looks good. It is the cheapest looking suit of any Superman suit in my lifetime. Even the Christopher Reeve suit looks better than this. The CW suit looks better than this. This is the worst. I'm sorry. It just is. Now, what we have here is Rick Flag Sr., and we also have, if you go by the comics, that would be Ultraman based on the symbol on the chest, but people are now saying that's either Bizarro or a clone of Superman. Nobody knows. They're saying it's Ulysses, which is a character I'm not familiar with, but nobody knows for sure what's going on. But you can see Superman getting arrested, and that they're working together with the military. And again, this is a knockoff of what Zack Snyder did. Like, you can't have a similar, you can't deviate from something that was done in Man of Steel. Like, really? But again, we're overbloated with characters in this movie. Here's another shot. So we have the girl again, which doesn't look like, hopefully she's got something done in post that makes her look more like she's supposed to from the comics. But yeah, this isn't looking all that good. Here is your first official look at Lex. It's not from the film itself, but you can see he's got a hood on. So it looks like he's supposed to be injured. You can see some blood on his chin, some blood on his head there. So this looks like he is going to be going into a scene where he is injured to a degree. But he definitely has a suit on. You can see the collar, and so he's got a suit on. So here's another thing that we all suspected and we knew was probably going to happen, but it says Creature Commandos characters to appear in Peacemaker Season 2 and Superman. So they are going to be tying everything together. But knowing what Peacemaker is and knowing what Creature Commandos is, these characters are going to have to act different because Superman's got to be PG or PG-13, and they can't be belligerent like they're going to be in the cartoon. And I certainly hope that's not a picture from the cartoon. If it looks like that, that's going to be utter garbage. I want it to look more like, I certainly hope that's not a photo from the actual show. That would be ridiculous. All right, guys, so there you have it. There's my DC update for the day. What do you guys think about the photos that have been released? What do you think about everything that's going on with the suit and the negativity? I would love to be positive on my channel. When there's something positive to talk about, I'm definitely going to do it. But like I said, I'm not just going to give a free pass to the studios. That's one of the reasons why I set up my channel, was to be able to speak my mind, and that's exactly what I'm going to continue to do. It has nothing to do with being a hater. It has nothing to do with wanting it to suck. I would love nothing more than to come in and say that Superman is a great film. But I have yet to see anything that even points in that direction. I would love to be more optimistic, but I've seen Warner Brothers through the years, and I have no trust, none, with the company. All right, guys, so there's the update. I would love to see your comments below. I appreciate all of the support. We will see you on the next video.